Evan Peters from the Jeffrey Dahmer story has been around for a long time and nobody understands the things he has struggled with, but finding out will shock you. For Evan Peters, playing the Jeffrey Dahmer role wasn't just a paycheck, it was something he let go of himself to portray. The actor confessed that playing the role of Jeff was very hard for him, mainly because he needed to get deep into the crimes that Dahmer committed. Evan mentioned that because he needed to be authentic, he had to devote himself to getting into dark places in his head for a long time. To flawlessly execute the project, the actor engaged in watching Dahmer's interviews and learning his movements, but most significantly, his lack of sympathy. It gets exciting because despite Evan going deep into Jeff's character, he still has to remain sane enough to follow fundamental rules. One was not to show sympathy to Jeff, but to the victims in a way that they don't get disrespected. Evan said that was because the story was never about Jeff, but about the repercussions of his actions. The way society failed to nail him down when there were so many chances of that happening was a significant challenge Evan had to make evident in his portrayal of Jeff. The way Evan had a hard time playing Dahmer sounds almost unbelievable to many fans who have seen his other work before. The actor isn't new to portraying serial life destroyers in TV shows. His role in American Horror Story, Hotel as James March, was based on the first serial life taker in America, H.H. Holmes. And that was just one of the many disturbing characters the actor played in American Horror Story. He featured in 9 seasons of the show before he stopped making an appearance due to how the roles negatively affected his mental health. Evan said, "It's just exhausting, it's mentally draining, and you don't want to go to those places ever in your life." Evan went ahead to add that even though he's only acting a role and moving on from one scene to another, he said that it somehow affects the way he goes about his personal life, as moving on doesn't always happen. So Evan didn't only struggle to play Dahmer, but he also had many years of trouble on American Horror Story. And that's why the actor stopped featuring from the 9th season and isn't going to be in the 11th season of the show coming out in October 2022. In his words, he's taking a temporary break for his mental well-being. Ryan Murphy, who created American Horror Story and the Jeffrey Dahmer story, added that the reason Evan stopped appearing in AHS from season 9 was because of how much he suffered in the show. He said it took him, 2 years to recover. It got under his skin in a hard, long way. I loved him in it. Even before he portrayed Dahmer, he's been losing himself to playing evil roles, and he got exhausted. Interestingly, Evan isn't only very involved with his characters when the stories are dark, he pulls his very best even in the shows that are not so twisted. The actor played a vital role in the X-Men franchise, and Evan did all of his stunts for the show himself. He said he enjoyed the special effects sequences of the show where he had to be on wires while every other person in the studio remained frozen. Despite performing all the stunts by himself in the X-Men, there were some intense kind of stuff he couldn't pull off. But with the help of a trained stuntman who was his double, he was able to achieve the complex parts. When Evan first started his acting career, he didn't know he would someday become an expert in playing horror shows. He started when he was 15, and he convinced his parents to move to Los Angeles so he could be closer to his dreams. Evan was eager to begin acting for the Disney Channel at the time, but instead, the actor was featured in many commercials when he first got to LA. He advertised for PlayStation, Sour Patch Kids, Corn Pops, and more. The actor shared his experiences working with these brands, saying, "They don't give you anything. I thought I was going to get Sour Patch Kids. I thought I was going to get a PlayStation. I didn't get anything, but I did like it. I thought they were fun." But then Evan said one of his motivations for coming to LA was to meet the Full House twins, Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen, who were his longtime crushes. At the time, he said, "They got me out to LA in a way because I was like, I gotta meet them. I met Ashley. She's sweet. I was a little nervous, but she was cool. By that time, my crush had changed and moved on." From when Evan moved to LA to when he started to feature on big shows, he had some embarrassing moments in the industry too. While acting in American Horror Story, Evan accidentally flashed his private parts to Jessica Lange. In the season Asylum, Evan played Kit Walker, a patient in an asylum, while Jessica played a nun who's in charge of the mental health hospital. So Evan had to be dressed in a hospital gown in one of the scenes, but he only got to hide his male parts with a sock. But unknown to him, he wasn't well covered up. He said he had to lean on Jessica's table in a light gown with his buttocks open and with the thoughts that the sock was doing its job. But after filming the scene, one of the actresses on the set approached him by hugging him and assuring him everything was okay. At first, Evan thought he did a lousy job with the scene, but then he looked up at Jessica. He saw her telling her PA that Evan was flashing his thing in her face the whole time and he had never been more embarrassed. And maybe that's why the actor finds love scenes embarrassing. Of all settings to do, becoming intimate is the last thing Evan wants to take part in. Almost every role in Hollywood comes with a lovemaking scene, and Evan tries hard to stay away from it. He said it's a very embarrassing thing to to do and that he finds it awkward. If Evan ever wants to do anything romantic in a film, it would have to be a comedy and something not taken so seriously. It's no surprise that Evan likes romantic comedies. Before he became known for playing evil and deadly characters, Evan used to do funny characters. And that was how the actor started. He played the silly personality of Seth Wozmer on Disney's Phil of the Future. He portrayed another similar character as Russell in Sleepover, where he was awkward with the skateboard and broke into a girl's dressing drawer and held onto her underwear in hilarious ways. And maybe those are the roles Evan loved to do, as it helps in keeping his brain active and far from dangers that could hurt his mental health. Because in real life, Evan is a funny person who likes to play and have fun during interviews or with his other colleagues. During one of his interviews on Conan, the actor got to talk about when his character humped a TV on the American Horror Story Cult, and Evan stood up to demonstrate his humping skills by playing it on one of Conan O'Brien's TV cameras as the audience cheered on. However, his back and forth on the TV camera caused the battery to fall out. You can tell the difference between Evan and the roles that he plays just by looking at him and the things he enjoys doing. While many famous actors have wild and luxurious hobbies, Evan has very distant hobbies from Hollywood's usual ones. The actor revealed he enjoys knitting and has done that numerous times till recently when he started replacing that with talking to people. Evan said, "There are so many people at work who are interesting to talk to and learn from, so I'm trying to do that a little bit more." Aside from talking to people, Evan also enjoys what most people love, including actors, and that's seeing movies. He said one of his favorite films of all time is Forrest Gump. Just the way Evan's career and hobby have taken interesting paths, his love life too has been full of ups and downs. Even though Evan likes to keep his dating life private, he couldn't avoid it getting public because it was with famous women. While on the set of The Adult World, Evan connected with Emma Roberts and the two began an on-off relationship that lasted a long time. They got engaged and at one point called it off before getting back together again. This trend continued twice before they split in 2019 after they'd been together for 7 years. In a relationship that had this many ups and downs, it got to be known it had some very damaging moments that became physical. Something happened between Emma and Evan when they were both together in Montreal in 2013, which led to police officers showing up in their hotel room. What the police saw was scary, as Evan was covered in bite marks with a nose dripping blood, while Emma had no scratches on herself. Emma was arrested, but was later released after Evan said he wasn't interested in pursuing the case. A few months after this incident, the actor was romantically linked with the singer Halsey. They were spotted together numerous times, and the rumor of their dating was confirmed when Evan went to the American Horror Story Halloween-themed party to celebrate the 100th episode of the show with Halsey. They kept seeing each other for a while until Halsey deleted every picture of Evan on her social media page, and the actor is now known to be currently single. How well do you think you understand Evan Peters from the Jeffrey Dahmer story now? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.